To Bangladesh now, where there's no end in sight to the Rohingya crisis. People living in the world's most densely populated refugee camp are worried they might have to move to an isolated island. CTV's Molly Thomas is in Cox's Bazar region of Bangladesh. She joins us now. Molly, welcome.
Thank you. Nice to see you, Angie.
Yeah, you've been there for a few days now. Tell us, what are you seeing at the camps? Are they overcrowded?
Oh, they are severely overcrowded. Angie, I've been to very populated places all over Asia. I've been to refugee camps in Iraq and Jordan before, and I've never seen anything like this. So there's about 1 million people in this refugee camp. 1 million people. That's the population of my home province, basically, of Saskatchewan. And you take 1 million people and you put them in about 6,000 acres of space. Any Canadian farmer out there knows that is not much space for that many people. And so you're dealing with, literally, you see children everywhere, you're seeing people everywhere. You turn around, there's a latrine, there are bamboo huts, there is just overcrowded beyond your imagination. And it's really hard to even maneuver in and out of the space because there's just so much going on. Interesting part about this terrain is that it used to be a forested area before the Rohingya came. They literally deforested the whole area and they built up on hills and valleys throughout. And so it's quite incredible what they've put together over the last year with the help of the humanitarian organizations. But, you know, when you have people that are that close together, you of course have risk of disease if something comes about that's contagious. It spreads so fast. You have environmental challenges. If there's monsoons or landslides, we saw some people, you know, lose their lives this last year. And so you have to be so careful in those situations when that many people are crammed together.
We are seeing so many children in the footage that you sent us here. What's the situation regarding women and children? And we know that Canada is in there trying to provide their support.
Yeah, I mean, I came in here thinking Canada is so strong on its feminist foreign policy at home, right? Gender equality, rights of women. I wonder if that transfers here in the field. And I've been talking to humanitarian organizations from every part of the globe, and they're just, I guess, so encouraged by what Canada is doing. You see programs for pregnant women. You see programs for young children, for education, malnutrition. It's really focused around women and children. About almost more than half of this entire camp, women and children. So they should be a focus. One of the things that I really noticed was about women empowerment. So you have about 30,000 women, Angie, 30,000 that became widows after the violence that happened in Myanmar. So you have these ladies that come from a conservative culture. They've never worked before. And all of a sudden they're leading their households, right? And they're raising children, so they want to make some money. And so there's these cash for work programs that Canada is a part of, which allows them to actually get jobs. And it's empowering for them on one hand, but on the other hand, there's really traditional conservative people in their community that they'll say they're not happy with the women working, right? Because it's really mixing with culture with them. And so it's tough for them, but I think you see empowerment for them in a way that they've never had that opportunity before. But of course, it's come at a tragedy.
In the face of tragedy, there is hope. Really quickly, Molly, we're almost out of time. Any updates on this island and the move to this island for these refugees?
Yeah, completely postponed as far as we know. No more talk of it. This island, of course, for people that don't know, is basically about 30 kilometers off the west coast of Bangladesh, and it is for about 100,000 refugees. It's been in the works for the last few years. Critics say it's flood prone, that cyclones are going to get at it. But Bangladesh government keeps saying, hey, we're going to voluntarily allow anyone to go out there. Actually, here's an interesting note. There's about 1,000 buffalo roaming around that island. The Navy took them out recently, and it was all for the Bangladesh government to say, hey, it is a habitable place. You can grow food out there. You can have animals out there. So that's as far as the island goes. We'll have to see if there's any more updates this week.
All right. Well, Molly Thomas reporting to us from Bangladesh. Molly, thank you so much for all of your coverage, and stay safe.
Thank you, Angie.